Hello and welcome to ReefGrrl's Daily Dose number 5. Today I had a bunch of small things to accomplish in the fish room, and when that happens I generally will start by feeding the observation tank because I need to shut off the flow and give it time for the food to spread around so all the fish can get it. So while they're busy doing that, I'll get to work.
And usually while the tank is in feed mode, I clean these things out because these filter pads get really dirty. Just gonna pull this out. Yep. I do that about every 2 or 3 days. And then this other one is usually worse because the power head pushes the water this way. So yeah. Ew, check it out. So I got replacements right here. And usually I tear one thickness. It's pretty thick stuff. So I take that and I tear it in half like this. And one of those goes on each side. Just tuck that in there under the front. That's on top of the UV sponge. There, all done. And oh yeah, remember the water change the other day? I believe it caused RTN on what was a purple dragon. Kind of bummed about that. It lasted quite a while in here. And I blew it because I let water go right on it. Also have some RTN going on right here. Glass needs cleaning. So I have to keep an eye on that. I moved this coral in from the 150-gallon section of the sump, and that's because it is so full of green hair algae. It was interfering with the polyps even opening. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's everywhere, deep inside the colony between all the polyps. So I picked off as much as I could reach, and I've noticed the polyps are already open more than they were, possibly because of what I picked off. But what I'm hoping is that the Desjardins sailfin tang will go after that green hair algae, because they're supposedly filamentous algae eaters. So little fella, gave you a big treat, like a giant ice cream cone. Look at that dirty algae. Oh, yeah, that's gotta get cleaned tomorrow. There's the RO reservoir, 125 gallons. I'm gonna get some out of here so that I can top up the raw totes. Water level's down pretty good, I noticed. So I added some to this one, and I can't film and pour at the same time, so I'm showing you the aftermath. They are cooking in preparation for someday going into a tank. Once a week I dose iodine to the reef tanks, and it comes in this little bottle. This is sealed. And if you're tempted to ditch the outside container and just store the bottle somewhere, I'd advise against it because the off-gassing from the iodine deteriorates this rubber stopper pretty badly. And after a while, you'll notice that it doesn't operate. And that means that there's air getting in here. So to store this stuff, it's a good idea to use its original container. And also because of that, I have to use a pipette to dose the iodine because of course the dropper doesn't work. So I removed the eyedropper, and now I'm just going to get a tiny bit in my pipette. I will be returning some of this because it's way too much. And we will put 1 drop into Mollywood, just 1. There we go. And a total of 3 drops in the 265 gallons. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'll decant the rest of this back into the bottle. There we go. Return it to its container. And get this back on to seal it. I only use this for iodine, and it doesn't get cross-contaminated or mixed with anything else. Today I turned the skimmer back on, and I'm going to be running it during the day. In my phosphate test of 0.073, I made a note to run it overnight only, but I'm a little concerned about it overflowing during the night, so I figured during the day I can keep a better eye on it. I'll run it for probably the daylight hours, however long my lights are on, and then I'll shut it off overnight, just so that the phosphates don't drop too low. And I spent about 5 minutes getting it adjusted. The water level is quite low. You can see my contraption is almost touching the water, and the air intake is still getting a fair amount of air, so I may need to turn the air down a little, but it's working well. Yesterday I mentioned I was a little concerned about the water level in here, and it looks to me like it's more normal now. So I checked the salinity again today just to see where it was, and it was reading low. And given that it was low 2 days in a row, even after I added some salt water, I thought, I'm gonna calibrate my refractometer. And sure enough, it was reading low. So I fixed that, and now the salinity in the system is dead on, 1.025. So I guess that just reinforces the idea that before you start making too many changes that are too drastic, it never hurts to check your equipment, because it's been a while since I calibrated it and it was worth checking. Okay, I like to check on my fish every day. Oh, there's the Tomini tang. Looking around, and there's the fox face. Sorry it's so blue, but I can't put a filter on my phone and use this viewing box. He is a beautiful fish, getting fat. So we'll finish off today by checking out how things look in the stock tanks. And you know, not bad. Other than losing this giant turbine area, if you can see through the blue lights, there is still some green showing, and I think it's going to start growing again. And then I moved the other turbine area, the other pagoda coral, into here, and it's loving it. Bubble coral's doing great. The cinerina down at the bottom there, that guy is just amazing. A scolie, another scolie. So yeah, it looks good in here. Citrus rhodactis all over that rock. And then coming over here, some of the larger corals that I have. There's also a blenny in here, by the way, which I do see once in a while. So thanks for watching, and if you like the video, why not give it a thumbs up? Subscribe if you want to, and we will see you again tomorrow.